My name is Megan Dion. I am the Public Art and Artist Program Specialist with the Nebraska Arts Council, and welcome to the Fred Simon Gallery, which is located in the Nebraska Arts Council offices in the Old Market in Omaha, Nebraska. The Nebraska Arts Council is a state agency that offers programs, grants, and opportunities that foster creativity across the state. One of our programs is the Fred Simon Gallery, and we feature exhibitions by artists dealing with all different content and mediums, and from all over the state. Right now, we're going to hear from our current exhibiting artist about the work that they create for this gallery and in their studio practice, and why they do that. So we look forward to seeing you at the Fred Simon Gallery in the Nebraska Arts Council very soon.
Hi, welcome to the Fred Simon Gallery in the Nebraska Arts Council offices in Omaha. I'm Paula Wallace, and I am one of the artists in the show Near and Far. I am working primarily on things in the distance. And my colleague is working on the near portion.
Hello, I'm Gretchen Peters. I'm from Gering, from way across Nebraska. We blew in with the wind. And so I have pieces here that are up close, like looking into nature generally. I was inspired by George O'Keeffe a long time ago. Recently I've been re-looking at Andrew Wyeth and how he composed the page, which is really fascinating. So I do close-up images of nature from my backyard, from the local swimming pool, from the hills, wherever I live, or looking. And I use colored pencil to draw those. I like to layer the color on and look for blocks of color, and then have the eye move over the page and then put in light and shadow to deepen the interest of it.
My work in the studio at the Hot Shops Art Center is pretty wide-ranging. I work on a variety of things because there are many things that interest me. And some of it is maybe an unwillingness to be stuck in one place, doing the same thing over and over again. Although, with some of the work that I have here at the gallery, the viewer has an opportunity to look at the different ways I might study a place. As an example, I have some paintings here that were based on an experience I had when I was studying in Ireland. Frequently, when I work, I may start with a small maquette. So, for example, painting on a small block, small canvas, maybe oil paper, but working out an idea in the same way that I might make a doodle if I'm going to be doing illustrations. So in the case of the landscapes from my time in Ireland, it's about a particular morning and the way the light fell during those hours when I was walking before dawn, as the sun rose, and then going back to that space in the evening. That technique of observation, a technique of making a maquette or a doodle, informs the way I also work when I illustrate books. And in this particular show, because much of my work is related to landscapes, I brought in a couple of illustrations from a recent book project with another Nebraska author, actually two Nebraska authors. They're illustrations from a book about Ted Kooser as a boy. Ted Kooser was the National Poet Laureate and has been a wonderful creative source for all artists and writers in Nebraska. Because some of his work is informed by our landscape. And certainly for Carla Kettner, who wrote the book, her words were also informed by the beautiful Nebraska landscape. I have illustrations that were used in the book. The landscape images with the snow fence as part of the spreadsheets, and then again as in an illustration with Mr. Kuzer as a boy, where he is working on a scroll, that scroll that would be part of his life's work in being informed by the world and studying it, thinking about it, writing about it, and then in turn releasing it back into the world. In the other room, I have images from points Midwest. Iowa, my home state, God's country, and Nebraska, nearly God's country, and my love of the sky, this wonderful, wonderful sky that we have here in the Midwest.
Well, one thing I just noticed is that as Paula's talking about her work, she's been doing these huge views on small images, and then my drawings are drilled down and they're big images. I thought, what a flip. So that's interesting. Anyway, these two images right here are from my backyard. And so when hydrangeas go through their process in the fall, they're very, very brown, very crispy, very paper-like. And so that's what this is right here. This hydrangea is actually about that big. They're very, very tiny. Like a head of a hydrangea has maybe 100 different blossoms on it. And so that's just part of it. And this is hosta from the backyard. I've done a whole series of these. So when they freeze in November, they take on different colors. They're just, shaded plant in the springtime. And then when they freeze, they shrink. And when the light goes through them, they get really beautiful. So a little bit of green left, but mostly it's just tones of tan and autumn's glory. So like I said before, I've done series, and so this wall is a series of water drawings, and I've really been fascinated by the movement of water. I did a whole series of drawings of the Firehole River in Yellowstone, and the water's really hot, and so then as it moves, and the water's really shallow, so it picks up the rocks underneath, so you get all these fiery colors, which has been very interesting. So then locally, this is from the local swimming pool, and just I wanted to teach myself how water moves and how you can pick up how it goes over different surfaces. So those are a couple little kids swimming there. This was influenced by a woman I met in Hawaii, and she painted women in water. I thought, ooh, that's very interesting. So that's where that came from. And then a friend has a lot she's purchased on Big Lake Alice out in western Nebraska, and it's just, I call that Lost Lake because it's this huge expanse of water with nothing around it. No trees, no houses, no harbors or whatever. It's just Lost Lake. So the idea of movement and the idea of water, and then the light and the shadow moving in the water is really fascinating.
As Gretchen had pointed out, her work takes in very small details and makes them on a grand scale. And my work is kind of the opposite, that I'm looking at something on a grand scale, the wide open space, and bringing it in, reining it in to a smaller size. But also, like Gretchen, water informs some of my work as well. And in many of the paintings with big sky, you'll also find that reflection of light on the water, or the color, the way a river can become a ribbon of blue or violet or even yellows and golds. So the paintings here in the Fred Simon Gallery are, in this part of the gallery, are definitely Midwest, and they let you have that surprise of cloud and water and that wonderful horizon line.
Thanks for listening, and come down to the Fred Simon Gallery. These wonderful pieces will be up till June 5th. They're really beautiful, and we both like the use of light and shadow. So come down and experience something beautiful that would look really great on your walls. And come visit the hot shops for Paula, and I'm out in Gering, Nebraska.
Yeah, I hope you'll make it. If you're in Omaha, come visit. The Fred Simon Gallery is in the Nebraska Arts Council offices at the Burlington Building at 1004 Farnham Street in Omaha. My studio is in the Hot Shops Art Center. You can find all kinds of art happening in the city and actually throughout the state.